Hi there, welcome to 90% Knitting. This is episode 362. I'm Lisa, also known as Fibernymph on most of social media. Today is Friday, March 12th, and it's a beautiful day. So that's why I am sitting outside. I apologize, I'm going to be squinting a lot because the sun is like right overhead. But it's worth it because it's so nice out. And I really wanted to record outside today. So here I am. I don't think I've ever recorded in this spot before. This is, well, our deck is right up there behind me. So that's why it's very dark behind me, because that's the underdeck area. But I'm basically just sitting on some landscaping timbers that form sort of a step up to this area. And it's funny, I just got up because I started to record and then I realized I thought I forgot something, which I actually hadn't forgotten it. It was in my bin here, but I couldn't find it. And so I got up to look for it. I'm like, oh, I am stiff from sitting here, so this could be really interesting. Anyway, as always when I record outside, I apologize for any ambient noise you might hear because the road is up there a ways, but it still tends to seem pretty loud to me. But it's okay. It's sunny and it's hot out. I mean, relatively speaking. I don't know what the temperature is today. I would say low 60s, but it's beautiful. This week has been really nice, and that just does wonders for my mental outlook, I gotta tell you. So, hope you're having a really good week too. How are you dealing with the realization that we've been in this pandemic situation for an entire year now? Like, that's all they're talking about on the news. And it is significant, you know. I don't think any of us thought last year at this time that this was going to be continuing on this long, but it has. And I don't know. On one hand, I thought, wow, it's only been a year, because it feels like a lot longer in some ways. But then, on the other hand, I've just really been thinking about, you know, what has transpired in the past year. You know, the things that have happened, the things that haven't happened. You know, haven't been able to take place. In fact, I was just, Tippy's right here. I was just talking to Bill this morning. I said, you know, this is the 1-year anniversary of our very first COVID-related event cancellation, because we were supposed to have gone to a concert 1 year ago tonight. Well, technically tomorrow night, but this is Friday, and it was a Friday night. So, yeah, it was 1 year ago. And then, of course, the cancellations just kept coming. But, so that seemed significant and kind of weird and surreal. But on the other hand, you know, I can't help but feel like, you know, we all have spent the past year navigating this just totally unthinkable situation. Like, nobody, unless you're, you know, Dr. Fauci or, you know, someone who specializes in this kind of thing, I don't think anybody really was prepared for the realistic way you would have to deal with this, you know, like tangibly. You know, how do you fare day to day when you really aren't supposed to leave your house, or when you do leave your house, all the precautions, and, you know, dealing with shortages of toilet paper and Clorox and everything. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just been a year. It's been a year. So I feel like, in a big way, all of us just everyday people, you know, I mean, frontline workers and healthcare workers and all that, like, you guys deserve all kinds of amazing kudos, because you've really been amazing. I can't say enough about that. But, you know, just us everyday people who have not had a role other than trying to keep other people safe by staying home, wearing masks, things like that. I think we need to recognize what we've managed to get through, because it was no small thing. I mean, having your life in an upheaval like that with no warning is just not anything that any of us are ever really prepared for. So I think no matter how hard this past year has been in so many ways, and what kind of a toll it's taken on you, because I mean, it's taken a toll on all of us, I really think it's beneficial to take a minute and just say, hey, I did the best I could in all of this, and that deserves to be recognized. I deserve to recognize that I was able to just cope, you know, and I want you to recognize that you were able to cope too. Even if you feel like you didn't cope great, sometimes it's okay. You got through it. You're here. And that is a lot. So congratulations. I am very proud of you. I am really proud of you for getting through however you did. All that brings me to my next point, which is actually probably should go to the end because it's my happy thing for, well, not all of them, but it's one of my big happy things for the week, and that is the fact that yesterday afternoon, Bill got a phone call from someone representing one of our local government officials who had gotten our name off of one of the lists that I managed to get us on, and they were calling to schedule us for our first COVID vaccine for this morning. So in less than 12 hours, well, a little over 12 hours from the time we got the phone call, we got our first vaccine shots this morning. That is super exciting. I literally teared up after we got off the phone with the guy. I was just like, oh my gosh, this changes so much. I mean, obviously not immediately, but like this changes my whole outlook on how the rest of this year might play out, you know. And I know there's a lot of hope that, you know, vaccines are going to become more and more available to more people. Bill and I both qualified under, you know, high-risk health conditions. But I know a lot of people haven't gotten to that point yet. You know, I was very heartened by the presidential speech last night, if you're in the U.S., of, you know, the hope that by May 1st, like, everybody will be able to get vaccinated. Adults here in the U.S. Will be eligible. So that is an excellent thing, and I really hope that's how that works out. So anyway, I guess all that to say is if you are somebody who, like me, was spending hours and hours trying to get appointments and get on lists and everything, it can really feel like you're yelling out into the void and not getting anything back, but eventually it will pay off. So hang in there. Okay, let's continue on with some knitting. I know we're 7 minutes in, but I will put a timestamp somewhere letting you know when you can just jump to the knitting if you don't want to sit here and listen to me babble, which now if you've already listened, it's too late. But anyway, I do have a finished object to share with you this week, and that was actually what I thought I had forgotten inside, and it just turned out I had stuck it in one of my project bags. This is not something that you'd even seen, but it was a test knit that I did. I don't test knit very often because I'm always afraid that I'm not going to be able to finish in time, but this was super fast. So this is a headband. It's called Sure of You, and it's by Jennifer Lassonde, who is from the Down Cellar Studio podcast. You hear me talk about Jen all the time, and her podcast and her events, because they're all fabulous, and I just love Jen. So anyway, here's the headband. It's a button. It's got 2 buttonholes. This is made out of bulky weight yarn, so that was another reason I'm like, I can do this in the time frame, because it was sort of a short turnaround, but like bulky weight. I did knit this probably in about a day, and then I had to block it and sew on the button and everything. I used my Megga base, which is my bulky weight base, and this is the silhouette colorway. I think there's one more skein of this in the shop right now if you like it. Anyway, yeah, US 8 needles, and it's knit from this tip where you do the 2 buttonholes all the way down. It's got these ribbed detail, or not ribbed, garter ridge details, and then you do the decreases at this end and sew on a button. I don't have a lot of big buttons. The pattern called for 1.5 to 2 inch button. This one is a little under, I think it's maybe about 1 1/4, 1 1/8 inch, but it worked. It doesn't come out of the buttonhole. I will pop in a few pictures here that I had Emma take of me earlier today modeling the headband, rather than me trying to fuss with it right here. But it was super quick. It was very easy. I don't know when Jen's planning to have the pattern out, but I would think probably in the next couple of weeks, maybe. I don't know, because I think the test knit's done midweek next week, so I would think probably by the end of March, maybe. I don't know. I will let you know when it is available. But yeah, it's just been, it was a fun little knit, and it's very comfy, and it will definitely be warm, and I can see myself wearing this because I do like headbands. I don't make them very often, but I do like them. So I think that's everything I was going to tell you about that. My next work in progress is one of the socks that you have seen before, and that is my blue striped rag socks, which when I showed them to you last time, I showed you that I ended up starting both of them. So basically this is a concurrent knit, and I continued to knit it concurrently. So this is the first one, which now has its heel flap, heel turn, and I've done all of the gusset decreases. I did do some yarn management so that whenever I started the gusset decreases, I was back in the progression after this orange stripe. So you can see the heel flap has the yellow, and now this has the yellow. So, but I stopped after I did all of the gusset decreases and then switched to the other sock, which is mid gusset decreases. It's apparently going to be a tippy cameo heavy day today, so enjoy. Anyway, here we are. I ended up with a knot in this skein. The first skein has not had a knot yet, but thankfully it did not mess up the striping progression. It was just a knot in the same place. Oh, we're going to have Babette here too. And then you might get to hear them hiss and fight with one another. That'll be fabulous. Anyway, I had this with me today because after you got your injection, they wanted you to wait around 15 to 30 minutes. And so I also was knitting this in line because when we got there, even though you were only supposed to come 5 minutes before your appointment time, we got there and there was like a line inside of people waiting to get in. It's like, oh great. Not a particularly socially distanced event in that respect. But I had my knitting, so I was standing in line knitting. And then I knit while I was waiting, and so I've decided that I'm going to finish this sock, which is technically the second sock, but I'm going to wait to work on the other sock. Please don't knock my camera over. No, don't do that. She wants to rub against the tripod. I'm going to wait and work on the second sock when we go back to get our second injection next month, and they will be my COVID socks, which sounds really weird. My COVID vaccine socks. You know, you knit memories into things, and this is a happy memory. You know, I don't know. I'm weird that way, but that's what I'm going to do. So here's the second sock. Love these colors. Just so much fun. So this is Patons Kroy in the blue striped rag colorway, knitting them on US 1s, my plain vanilla sock, although I'm doing a ribbed plain vanilla sock this time, over 60 stitches, a 2x1 rib the whole way down the cuff, and then it'll be down the instep. Regular heel flap and gusset, nothing fancy, but yeah, so that has been the other project that I've mostly put time into since I talked to you last. I have not done any more work on the Fungi Pi sock that I showed you last time, mainly because I was focusing on these socks, but I might get back to that one after I finish that first sock, since I'm not going to work on the second one right away. I've got to move because, oh my gosh, I'm stiff and my butt hurts because this is a hard thing to sit on. This is just a rubber barrel over here. Like, I don't know what you can see behind me. There's a stone wall. That's like the outside of our house. Like, that's the garage back there, but it's stone faced. My husband did all the stone work on the house after he bought it many years ago. Okay, anyhow, I don't know why you needed to know that. Okay, what's up next? Yeah, so the socks. Ramona is in timeout. I have not done anything else with Ramona yet. I'm not even sure that I ripped out that sleeve again. It may just all be sitting in a pile. She needs some space. We need space from each other. I just said I haven't made any more progress on Fungi Pi sock, but I have worked a little bit on a project that you haven't seen in a while. Do you remember my one Advent project that I was using the rest of the minis? Because I made the Advent minis, I made socks, and then I was using all the rest for Hexis. I have been working on bordering my Hexis because I hadn't been doing that much lately. It had just been sitting around. So I started. My plan originally, okay, well first let me tell you, the pattern is the Busy Bee Throw by Shaina Scott. It was written for a heavier weight yarn. I'm doing it in fingering weight, so it's going to be much smaller. But my original plan was I did all of the Hexis out of all of the, what I had left of all of the minis from the Advent calendar, which was an indie dyer swap of an advent calendar. So I did all the minis, and then I was going to go back with that skein of yarn that I got from the Tomboy Femme Bags Open Your Present Early thing. And I was going to use that skein of yarn to do all of the outlining, which is what I'm doing, the borders. But I was going to do all of the borders, and then I was going to start putting it together. But I realized really quick I was going to get super bored doing that, and I felt like it was adding extra work to the process to do that. So I have started putting them together as I go. And it's working out. I need to go back to my notes to see how many rows wide I was going to make this and how long, because I don't have enough to really make a throw, and I think I'm going to try to make this into a wrap. I think that was what I landed on. But for right now, I'm just sort of working this way because I know that's safe. I love how it's looking, though. It's a lot of fun. Super bright, especially out here. It's like, whew, the sunlight is really making it pop. So yeah, I'm having fun with that. So I just work on it a little bit here and there. It's good because, please, okay, don't you do that. Cats. I really hope I'm actually all in the frame. I can't actually see. I think I am. It's just so bright out here. And I know my hair looks fabulous at this point. I straightened it. Did I mention that already? I straightened it, put makeup on, got dressed in nice clothes to go get my shot because it was a date. I'm so weird. All right. Anyway, so this is what I've been working on. I haven't really, since I'm not working on Ramona, I just haven't really had a lot of mojo to know what I really want to work on right now. So I've been trying to pick up other things that just need some work. So this is something I can work on. I didn't bring it down with me, but do you remember that scarf I wove around Halloween? I did that clasp weft scarf on my rigid head of loom. I'll put that picture in here too, or maybe a better picture since I've finished. It was finished. I needed to add more fringe to it because the fringe was pretty wimpy since I had warped that with fingering weight yarn, and then I wove it with DK. I did the weft was DK. So the fringe that was left was just fingering weight, black fingering weight. So I used leftovers of the two weft colors and added a lot more fringe, and it looks really nice now. So I will try to take a picture of that and pop that in here for you to see. So I did that. Just, little things that I can work on without much thought. So that's everything that I have worked on. I do have a coming up though. I think I'm going to allow myself to cast on something new because I really want the finished product, and that is the Amberle Shawl by Shannon Cook. So here's what that looks like. I've talked about this for a while now. I had the yarn set aside for it. I'm going to be making this out of my, oh, here's an even better picture. Let me see if I can show you without showing you the directions. Yeah, isn't that pretty? I'm going to make it out of my Ridgetop DK, which is my non-superwash, and I'm going to use this color, which has grass. Oh, that's just veg matter, I guess. Anyway, this light blue, this light powdery blue, which is my brushed steel colorway, that's going to be the main color, and then I'm going to use Wisp as the border. I really wanted a nice light colored, soft colored palette for this shawl. I really like the colors of hers, which is kind of like this isn't my yarn, but it's similar to like my Warm Honey colorway and Wisp. But I've made so many things out of Warm Honey. I needed to step outside of that box. So I'm into blues right now. I'm not sure why, but I've gone through a blue phase. So yeah, I'm going to use these. I did have enough yarn of my gunmetal colorway, which is actually the same dye color, only darker, that I thought I might do, but I don't want it to be that dark. I want it to be nice and soft. So those are the two colors I'm going to do this in. And I can't wait to start it. So hopefully I will have a started shawl. The other reason I really want to do this shawl is because I wear my Hedgewit shawl all the time. Like every morning, that's pretty much what I wrap up in. Even recently, even this week while it's been warmer. I've just really enjoyed wrapping up in that. So I think it'll be nice to have another shawl like that to switch off and, you know, in a lighter color. It'll be fun. So that's my next project that I'm going to be starting. There's so many more that I would like to start, but you gotta only, I'm trying really hard not to overwhelm myself with works in progress. You know, I'm just trying to do a couple things at a time so that I actually see some progress on them and maybe get done. I know, novel idea. I have a new thing to show you. I feel like I probably have more than one, but this is the only one I could think of at the moment. I have some other things coming though. I got yarn from KnitSpinFarm. So this is Joanna, who does KnitSpinFarm, and this is her Targhee Sport, which I think I have another skein of this as well. I think I do. I don't know. I love her yarn. And again, I think I've commented, I don't buy self-striping very often because I dye self-striping, but occasionally I have reason to, and I like Joanna's colorway ideas, and this one I could not pass up. This is JRR Tolkein Day, which is January 3rd. She does a lot of like the obscure holiday colorways. I think she has a club for that maybe. But yeah, this is one that I could not pass up because you guys know how much I love Tolkien. I love his works. I love Lord of the Rings is my happy place. Oh my gosh. I listen, you know, if you've listened to the podcast before or watched the podcast, you know, I've talked about the Prancing Pony podcast, which is a podcast about JRR Tolkien and his works and works about him also. And every once in a while they interview some of their higher level Patreon supporters. And one of the questions they always ask is if you could visit or if you could live in any place in Middle Earth, where would it be? And I often think about that. I think the Shire would be amazing. That would be a great place to go. I think Lothlorien would be really cool too, or Rivendell. But I really think the Shire. I think that would be my happy home. But I'd like to visit the other two places. So, anyway, because you needed to know that. So this is JRR Tolkien Day, Even Stripes of a Shortcut to Mushrooms, which is the tan color, Fangorn Forest, which is the dark menacing green, the Green Dragon, Hobbiton, and Lorien. So 5 stripes. And I'm not sure when I'm going to cast this on. It's sport weight, and I definitely want to make more sport weight short-ish socks for myself, but it's almost getting too warm right now to wear sport weight socks because I wear my socks to bed almost every night, and lately I've been choosing fingering weight socks instead of sport weight. So I may hold on to this and cast it on in September for Bilbo's birthday. That might be what I do with this. Don't hold me to it, but that's my thought right now. Okay. And Frodo's birthday. They share a birthday. Did you know that? They do. Next, I just want to remind you that the 2021 Nature Make-Alongs are underway. Currently, we are in the Flora period, so March and April. The theme is Flora. If you can fit your project somehow into relating to flora, so plants, it can be a colorway, it can be a pattern name, it can be this color reminds me of this, and that reminds me of this, and that is related to this plant. Like, it can be a long walk. It doesn't matter. As long as you can justify it, I am fine with it. Trust me. I just really would like everybody to participate because it would be so much fun to see what you're working on. We've had some lovely projects happening already, so if you're already participating, thank you. I'm really enjoying seeing what you're working on. There is a form that you fill out, so you don't have to be on Ravelry to participate with this. You can go to my website, fibernymphdyworks.com, and click on the Nature Mal link that's at the top of the page, and that will take you to a pinned blog post that has all of the guidelines on it. And then there's a link in those guidelines to the finished object submission form. So if you're not on Ravelry, that's fine. Just so long as you have a place that you can post your finished object and then link to it so I can see it. That's kind of key. But otherwise, you know, that can be your blog, it can be Instagram, whatever. And if you have any questions about that, feel free to email me, fibernymph@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to talk to you about it. If you are on Ravelry, though, you can also participate through Ravelry. We have a chatter thread there. If you can't access Ravelry and you still want to chat, feel free to comment on that blog post on the Fiber Nymph Dye Works group. That works great too. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything else I need to tell you about that. It was just a friendly reminder that that's happening, and I would love for you to take part. Lastly, in the 90% part, I wanted to ask you, would you guys be interested ever in doing like a Zoom knitting group, like just like a Zoom chat, and we could have like a virtual knit night kind of thing? I have a Zoom account now. I needed to set it up for something else, and I thought, you know what, that would be super fun. And I have a paid version, so it can be longer than 40 minutes or an hour or whatever the limit is with the unpaid version. But I would really like to start doing just some Zooms every once in a while with you guys if you're interested. So if that's something that would interest you, comment in the comments on the video and let me know that. And then depending on the feedback I get, I will think about setting up the first one, and we'll see how that goes. I would actually really like to do one fairly soon, sort of as a test, because I haven't hosted too many Zooms yet, and I do have to do one for something else that's coming up, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but I'd love to have kind of a test run just to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. Okay, so we're gonna jump into shop news, the state of the studio this week. I'm happy to report that the state of the fiber artist is much better than it was last time. Thank you for your kind comments. I was having a rough week that week, but things are much better now. Anyway, the state of the studio. I'm happy to say also that all of the 2020 monthly makes prizes have been shipped out. Well, there's one that has not, but that's only because I just found out what the person wanted. But that one's actually dyed and just needs to be reskeined. So anyway, but all the rest of them, all the prize yarns have been sent out. So yay! I have several special orders that are dyed and also just waiting to be reskeined so I can ship those out. That should happen this weekend, so I can get those shipped out probably Monday. So if you're waiting for a special order that has been out there for, 3 or 4 weeks, that's probably you. The Pi yarn update last weekend went great. Thank you so much if you shopped that. The Fungi Pi in-stock skeins sold out pretty quickly. Thank you for that as well. And there's probably about I would say there's a handful of the other, my past Pi colorways that I had up as dye to order skeins. There's I would say maybe 1 or 2 skeins left of each of those colorways. So if you're still interested in those, you can check the shop out and see that. As far as more Fungi Pi, I've decided that I'm going to do a dye to order update for that. And that will be this Sunday, which happens to be Pi Day, 3/14. So Sunday the 14th at 5 a.m. Who am I kidding? 10 a.m. Eastern. You can go to the shop and that listing will be active then. It's in the shop now, but it's just in preview mode. But you'll be able to buy. I have 7 different bases listed, including some that it was not originally dyed on for the last update. So if you're looking for other bases, check out. I know I have Heavenly in there this time because I know some people like Heavenly. I didn't have it on Heavenly, which is my MCN base. Yeah, so that will be available. I can't remember all the bases. Check the listing, it's there. Yeah, so that will be on Sunday the 14th at 10 a.m. And all the usual stuff applies. If you order an in-stock thing along with a dye-to-order item, everything gets held until the dye-to-order items are ready to go out. Please allow 6 weeks for those to ship out. It may not take that long, but it may, because I've got a whole bunch. I don't even know how many other pre-orders I got from those other ones from last week. But they're in process. It's just, it's going to take me a little while. So allow the full 6 weeks. Don't be upset if you don't get it before then. Okay, what else? There will be a Throwback Thursday update this week. I wasn't, next week. I wasn't sure if there would be, but I was able to get on top of enough things that I feel comfortable doing one. And it will be from my Sad Panda colorway. If you've been around for a while, maybe you'll remember Sad Panda. I honestly do not remember what the inspiration, like how Sad Panda came about, other than I know it had something to do with Wendy from Knit One Heart Two, that podcast that hasn't been around in several years. But Wendy said something about Sad Panda or a Sad Panda, I don't know, and I created a colorway based on it. So here's Sad Panda. So you've got the panda stripes, which are the black and the white, and then you've got the blues. It's a variegated blue stripe because the panda is sad. I love this colorway. I think it's super fun. So I will have as many of these skeins in stock for Throwback Thursday this coming week as I possibly can. That will not be a dyed order. It'll be just whatever's in stock is in stock. That's Throwback Thursday is meant to be that. It's meant to be, you know, small batch. It's there. It's gone. It's done. So that is on the 18th. Thursday the 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern will be Sad Panda. The next regular update will be on Saturday the 27th of March at 10 a.m. and that is my 2021 anniversary colorways update. I will have more information and samples to show you the next time I podcast, but just, you know, put a pin in that date. And then the other upcoming thing that's happening that I'm very excited to be taking part in is the Allentown Fiber Festival, which will again this year be virtual. So that will be April 9th through the 11th, which is a Friday through Sunday. And I will link in the show notes the website for the festival, which I think then will also send you to Facebook, which you can see even if you're not on Facebook, but you can, she's putting a lot of the information on there, I think. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of Zooms, which that's what I'm doing, a Zoom that Sunday. So the 11th at 2 p.m. is my Zoom slot. It's for a half hour and I'm not entirely sure what I'll be doing, but it'll be a chance to Zoom. I'll probably show you different colorways and stuff. I am planning to do an Allentown virtual colorway for this year. Anyway, it will be Sunday at that point, so it'll be pretty far into the sale weekend, but, you know, or the weekend of the show. But come and join me, it'll be fun. So yeah, that will be happening. And that's the other thing, like I keep thinking, oh my gosh, maybe, like I'm definitely not doing any in-person shows. Like I have no in-person shows on my calendar. I know Zombie Knit Apocalypse is taking place and I was supposed to be vending at that, but I just had to tell them I don't feel comfortable doing that, even if at that point I didn't know that I'd be getting my vaccine, but I said I don't feel comfortable traveling and being in a hotel and doing all that stuff at this point. So, and I still don't, even having, you know, I'll have my vaccine by then, but I know enough, there will be people who won't, and I just don't want to be a part of risking anybody's well-being. So anyway, no in-person shows on the calendar right now, but I am hopeful that maybe come fall I'll be able to do one or two. That would be so nice to see people again. Okay, I think that's everything for shop news. Gosh, I feel like I'm probably getting sunburned sitting here. That'll be amazing, won't it? That brings me to 10%, what used to be known as 10%. Basically now I'm calling it my favorite things that are bringing me joy this week. And of course, the first thing, which I already told you, is getting my first COVID shot today. That was excellent. But the other thing is just the fact it's so beautiful. And I know I've mentioned this probably the last couple of times too. The sunlight and the longer days, and oh, we changed the clocks this weekend, so we get that extra hour of daylight. It's just, I love it. I'm spending so much more time outside, just like I want to come outside and I'm looking for different things to do. Not like there's a shortage of things to take care of outside, but it's just been so much fun. I took my first motorcycle ride this past week too. I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I took my sidecar rig, my Ural, out and I went grocery shopping. That's the greatest thing about having a sidecar is you can do a grocery shopping trip, like a decent grocery shopping trip in a sidecar. So I did that, and that was a lot of fun, just being out. I don't feel super comfortable taking any of my other bikes out, like the two-wheeled ones at this point in the year, because there's a lot of debris, like winter debris on the roads, like gravel, especially at intersections and around curves, and non-skid material, anti-skid material, and there's just, and even our driveway is just sort of messy right now. And I know eventually it'll get fine. Like once it starts raining and things get washed off the roads, it'll get better, but it's still just a little too early. I don't like to risk that because it's just so easy to fall. And I'm a little unstable as it is. So anyway, I've got a sleeping kitty next to me. I know you can't see her, but she's like all stretched out here in the sunshine. Oh, here, I don't know if you've noticed my little weird sparkly thing on my hand. This is eyeliner. Can you see how sparkly that is? That's a new thing, and also something that's bringing me joy. I went down a makeup rabbit hole, a makeup buying rabbit hole the other day. I feel like I have something in my eye right now, which is why I'm playing with it. But yeah, I was on the Urban Decay website and I bought myself a new eyeshadow palette, which was exciting. I got myself a new lipstick, which is silly because I don't wear lipstick that often, but I'm always drawn in by it. But they had this eyeliner. It's called Wired, and it's a black eye. I mean, I actually have it on my eyes too, but you can't, I'm not going to get my face right up in there. But it's a black eyeliner, like a liquid eyeliner, and you put it on and then you let it dry. Like it actually has to dry. It can't be at all wet for the other part to work. So the one end is the liquid eyeliner, but then the other end is this like really fine, it looks white. It just looks like clear white, like sugar is what it looks like. Very fine sugar, but it's got color to it, which is what's cool. And I don't think the black eyeliner, I think that's just what holds that sugar stuff to you. I don't think that has anything to do with the color. It's that grainy powder. So I got a purple one and a black one, and I don't remember their colors. Well, yeah, I don't remember the colors. But anyway, High Voltage is one of them. I think that's the purple one, and then maybe Charged or something is the blue one. I don't know. I have both of them on here right now, but you're mostly seeing purple. And I think I have the purple in my eyes today too. I also got a set of, not from Urban Decay, I had Emma pick them up at work, a set of magnetic eyelashes. Oh my god. We won't even go there. That looked crazy because the eyeliner you had to use, the metallic eyeliner you had to put on first was a gel eyeliner. Did I tell you about this last time? I have this feeling like I told you about this already. I don't know. It didn't go well. Let's just put it that way. I feel like maybe I should get a different pair from like a better pair and try it, or at least more like a different eyeliner. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just having fun. Like I like playing with makeup. I don't wear it very often, but it's super fun to play with. So anyway, those are my happy things this week. Do you want to come say hi to the people? Kit Kat is also out here now. Kit Kat looks like he was on the wrong end of a fight with a weed whacker, because he's a long-haired cat and he gets really, really matted. And every year at this time we end up having to try to cut these mats out of him. Oh my gosh. And we finally got most of the mats out, but now we're just trying to shave him down so that all his fur can kind of grow back at the same rate. And he looks ridiculous, but he doesn't seem to care. Here's my baby. Oh, this is Tippy. She's not into this. Say hi. Can you say meow? That was not a happy meow. Gosh, now I'm covered in fur. Babette. Meow. Babette's one of the only cats I know that will come when you call her. Come here. You want to say hi? People ask about Babette every once in a while. Oh, come here, come here, come here. Come here. Oh, Jesus. That could have ended really badly. Okay, stop. Okay. So, in answer to some of your questions, yes, Babette's still around. That was hilarious. She's really bad at retracting her claws, and so a lot of times when you pick her up, she'll be fine, but then when she wants to get down, she'll realize one of her claws is stuck in you, and she's really bad at getting it loose. And so then you try to help her, and she gets more and more freaked out. I've had some interesting calls with her. I am covered in Babette fur now. Oh my gosh. Tippy doesn't shed that much. Babette sheds a lot. And I wish Kit Kat shed, because then maybe he wouldn't get so many mats, but whatever. Okay, I'm sure you don't want to hear all about my cats, even though they're sweet and cute most of the time. Okay, I'm gonna go. Have a lovely week or so till I talk to you next. It'll probably be a little over a week till I get to talk to you again, I imagine, but I don't know. I've really been in a podcasting mood lately. It's fun talking to you guys. It's always fun talking to you, even when I don't get to do it often. It's usually just time related. If I don't have enough time to get it in, I don't want to rush it. So anyway, have a really good weekend coming up. I hope you are getting to enjoy some lovely seasonal weather wherever you're at, and I hope that you are doing okay this year into all this crazy pandemic stuff. And just remember, there's hope. Things are going to get normal for all of us again in some way. Whatever that normal ends up being, it's going to come back. Honest. It'll be good. We're going to be fine. Have a good week. Talk to you later.